Okay, you probably want to know what I just did there. And I'll tell you, the easiest way for me to line up material without a camera, I don't have a camera on this, but it's the easiest way for me to do it is I take that piece of scrap plywood and I make a line for the size of the stock that I'm going to engrave on. And simply is as easy as that. I draw the line on there, I set my stock on that space, and then re-Z my laser and just hit start, and it just goes to town. So that's what we're going to do. I do not use the air assist, so I lift that up. And it's broken anyway, there's a wire broken on it. So, I think I'm in good shape here. I didn't move anything. Board stayed intact, nothing's in the way. Turn the laser on, got my fancy glasses on. And let's make this happen. Start with Lightburn open, and you can see what I've created here. Now, I've put a blue around all the pieces of wood. So what I did was I just went and took my tape measure and got each piece of wood the dimension, and as you can see it's 11 by 5 7/8, and I've used the bottom left hand corner as a starting point, and then I wanted them 5 inches from the edge of my table and then 4 inches from the y-axis part on the X. And that seems to be a good spot for me to make sure that I'm not pushing the limit. I don't want my vac hose or any of that stuff touching anything to disrupt the laser. Not that it would, but there's wires hanging off of it, and I don't really have it secured and protected, more or less. So that's why I started in a little bit, and this is how I laid out the 4 pieces that I needed to carve. Now, I started out with a photograph, and a photograph of what someone else had created, and my friend brought this to me, and he said, "Can you make this for me?" My buddy tried to do it, but he's having a hard time, and he really wants to give it to his wife for Christmas. And so therefore I said, yeah, why not? I'll do it. It won't take me long to do, as long as he gives me the material and everything's pre-cut. All I got to do is laser it, good to go. So unfortunately I couldn't find the font that he wanted. It was kind of a different font. This is probably the closest I could get to it, and I'm not even sure what it's called. Great Victorian Standard is what it's called. You can see it up here. So what I did was I typed each of the verses and centered it on the piece of wood. And then I sized it to fit the wood, so that you'll notice these are all different sizes. And that was the customer's choice, to have it fill up the board and look even on the board. even though this one has really large font compared to this one. I think it's okay. The way they stack is the smallest is on top, so it's like a Christmas tree. Small to the bottom is wider. So, and then these are attached with clips, like a hook and eye system underneath on top. So they all clip to each other and they hang on the wall. And he's going to go ahead and finish them and all that. All I'm doing is the laser. But that's basically how I did it. Real easy. Now I use absolute coordinates, and right here you can see over here I use absolute coordinates, so that enables me to, wherever it is in this workspace, and I'm using like a 48-inch workspace by 32, which is the size of my Longmill with the extension, the 48-inch extension. So I got plenty of room, essentially. I've done, I'll be probably in the near future here, be putting up a cornhole board video, and that'll show you that I can do the whole cornhole board, which is so awesome to be able to have that ability. I mean, if you don't have the 48-inch extension, you know, I would say if you're looking to buy a laser but you don't have the 48-inch extension, why? How could I talk you into that? You know, I mean, they just work hand in hand. It makes the size of what you can actually laser so huge. And I've done signs. I mean, 2 foot by 4 foot signs, and they really come out great. And the other thing that I like about this is that you can essentially make a coloring book. If you like to paint and you like painted signs, or you want to paint your cornhole boards with your whatever design, you can create your design in Lightburn and burn an outline in it. That way, when you paint, that burned line will resist bleeding, so it'll stay in that. You'll be able to, as long as you use acrylic paint, you could paint in there. It's like paint by number. It's the coolest thing, to be able to create your own little coloring book. And there's another idea. You can create coloring books with whatever designs you want to use. A lot of times our children will hand draw stuff for us when they're little, and you could take those things and copy them and bring them into Lightburn and do a vector outline of it and make a coloring book for, you know, your grandchild or their child. You know, that this is what mom and dad made when they were little. And it's just, I'm rambling. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. But anyway, yeah, the possibilities are endless. So where I'm at here is, all I do is I save this file and I put it on a USB, and I bring it to the laptop that's hooked to the Longmill, and I go ahead and run it. I'm going to be doing Lightburn tutorials here in the future. I'm just going to hop on and do just a specific Lightburn tutorial, and won't do the project, none of that, no preparing the wood. I know a lot of people like to see me do that, but sometimes they just want to know, how do I do this? I'll show a picture of it, and this is how I created it, and all I will show you is the finished product and how I did it in Lightburn, which I think would be pretty cool for a lot of people. They want to learn different things. And I'm also making available some of these files, or some of my creations, so that you can download that Lightburn file. from the website. So anyway, let's move along. Let's get back to the video. Forgot to change my lines per inch, so I'm going to increase that. It needs to be 150. I had it at 50. And we should turn the exhaust on too. Now the previous project I did was cherry, so shouldn't be any different. Might be a little. This cherry is pretty clear except for the knots that are in it, but the grain's pretty tight, so should be okay. Looks like it's doing good. So using this waste piece of plywood makes it easy for me to mark it up and set up jobs that I'm going to be doing. Like, you know, all I got to do is just, like I showed you in Lightburn, just place them on there where I want them. I don't need to measure a little bit. I want to keep them away from my extents. I don't want it to get too close to the edge or whatever, but I do need to pay a little close attention to that. But otherwise, I could just scatter it all over the place the best I want, do a bunch of projects all at once, and mark it out on this as a big coloring board, basically, and set all my lumber in it. And as long as they're all the same height, thickness, really doesn't matter. I can go to town and just let it carve a bunch of stuff. And hey, if you like this video, you know what to do. Click that like button. It really, really helps us out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed, which totally blows me away that you haven't done that because it's totally free, go ahead and do that. I really appreciate it. Hey, until next time, be safe out there.